Steve Bannon, a longtime ally of former U.S. President Donald Trump, has been a central figure in several high-profile legal cases. One of the most notable is his involvement in the We Build the Wall fundraising scheme, which led to his recent guilty plea in a New York court. In 2018, Steve Bannon and 3 others launched a private fundraising campaign called We Build the Wall. The initiative aimed to raise money to construct sections of a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border, a key promise of Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. The campaign raised over $25 million from thousands of donors. However, prosecutors alleged that Bannon and his associates falsely promised donors that all funds would go toward building the wall. Instead, they were accused of diverting hundreds of thousands of dollars for personal use. In August 2020, Bannon was indicted on federal charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. However, in the final hours of his presidency in January 2021, Trump pardoned Bannon, effectively ending the federal case. Since presidential pardons do not apply to state crimes, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, led by Alvin Bragg, pursued state charges against Bannon in September 2022. He was charged with money laundering, conspiracy, and a scheme to defraud. On February 11, 2025, Bannon pleaded guilty to 1 count of a first-degree scheme to defraud as part of a plea deal. This agreement spared him jail time, provided he adheres to specific conditions. Bannon received a 3-year conditional discharge, meaning he must stay out of legal trouble to avoid additional punishment. He is barred from serving as an officer or director of any charitable organization in New York and cannot raise funds for such entities. He is prohibited from using or possessing data gathered from We Build the Wall donors. Prosecutors presented an email in which Bannon allegedly questioned the legitimacy of the fundraising effort, calling it a scam and stating, "Poor Americans shouldn't be using hard-earned money to chase something not doable." Bannon's legal team argued that the case was a political persecution and sought to portray it as a selective prosecution. They filed motions to dismiss the case, calling it unconstitutional, but these efforts were rendered moot by the plea deal. Bannon's guilty plea marks his second criminal conviction, following his 2022 contempt of Congress charge for defying a subpoena related to the January 6 Capitol riot investigation. This case further highlights the legal challenges faced by Trump's inner circle. Bannon used his court appearance to call for investigations into Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg and New York Attorney General Letitia James, accusing them of targeting Trump and his allies for political reasons.
Okay. See this headline right here? Trump causes constitutional crisis. Trump causes constitutional crisis. Showdown emerges of the limits of his power. Let me be blunt. And this is a lesson here. The existential threat to President Trump's administration is not in federal court. What President Trump is doing is constitutional. The appellate courts will say that. The Supreme Court will say that. The existential threat to President Trump's administration, and I mean Doge, Elon Musk, Secretary of Treasury Bessent, Russ Vought, Stephen Miller, all of his people. The existential threat is right here in this city. It is the queen of lawfare. It's Letitia James. Right now, Soros has a DA that's running unopposed. He can call a grand jury at any time. He can set up criminal charges on the most bogus efforts. Letitia James runs this deal. She's got a pliant media right here, pliant left-wing media. She's got a jury pool of only left-wing radicals in the Upper West Side of this city. And she's got the judges. She's got all of it. And I'm calling on right now the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to begin an immediate criminal investigation into Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, all of it for what they did to President Trump. President Trump, on his Truth Social today, laid it out once again. The existential threat to his administration is this queen of lawfare, Letitia James, and how she has absolutely total control. And Doge and Elon Musk and Scott Bessent and all of them ought to be worried about this out of control city. Thank you very much.
Are you calling on an investigation into Bragg because of your case?
He wants to fight.
everybody knows Steve Bannon's, he wants to always put up a fight. But he realized that maybe this was a fight because of the forum he was in that he was never going to win. And he has much bigger and better things to do than sit here for 3 weeks during a trial, which we counseled him that we did not see a real victory here. The biggest victory would have been a hung jury, a mistrial, and they just would have tried the case again. Look, you could say whatever you want about the case against President Trump, but it was a case of first impression. It was a case that had never been brought before. It's a case that the judges twisted and contorted the law to make it happen, and yet there was a unanimous verdict there. So the handwriting was on the wall that we did not feel comfortable that he should go to trial if he had a real alternative. And what's the alternative here? Yes, Mr. Bannon is a convicted felon in the state of New York, and he can't run a charity here in the state of New York. But short of that, there is no, and he shouldn't get rearrested again. Besides that, for someone who was charged with a very high-level felony, this is a spectacular disposition for him. We are satisfied with it. Mr. Bannon is very satisfied with it, and the people around Mr. Bannon, who counsel him on a regular basis, are very satisfied with it. So he's on to his court days are over. He's all done with this matter. He's on to do other things. Great question.
Steve Bannon's guilty plea in the We Build the Wall case underscores the ongoing legal and political battles surrounding Trump's associates. While Bannon avoided jail time, the case has significant implications for accountability in political fundraising and the broader discourse on the weaponization of the justice system.